What we're going to be going over today is we're going to start talking about lead generation because we all know, or we should know, that without lead generation, we don't have business. And it's the one thing that we have to make sure that we're adequately time blocking every single day. And the bold law that says if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist is so true, because if you put lead generation on your schedule and then you still don't do it, you're not going to get the business as if you were doing it. So if we put it on the schedule and we have to, if for some reason something comes up and you just can't do your lead generation at that time, you do have to replace it. So are y'all lead generating right now? If so, tell me about how many contacts or how long per day are you doing it?
Do you want me to just type
You,
or just tell you?
no, if you can speak, go ahead and speak. And I think, Chuck, it looks like you might actually be able to speak now too.
Um, I am planning on taking an hour in the morning to make calls to people who I meet or, you know, expired listings and so on. And then I'm also planning on, I don't know that I'm scheduling necessarily hours, but I have a goal sheet that I wrote. Let me grab it real quick here, actually. Um, I want to allow myself one opportunity a day to meet someone new. So whether that's a networking event or just going out somewhere to meet people. Um, and then 10 calls per day to people who I've met to follow up, catch up, just to kind of keep that relationship going, or to expired listings or for sale by owners. I am going to do the 10 contacts. So I guess probably total about 4 hours a day.
Okay, doing lead gen 4 hours a day. That's a great goal. And then, Chuck, you said it's one of your biggest voids and where you're behind the most. What do you feel like is causing you to get behind with the lead generation? Is it lack of time, or just maybe like knowing where to go to get leads, or how to do the lead generation? Okay, all right, perfect. So yeah, new to Texas, and just basically need to figure out where to get started. Whenever you don't have that built-in database of, or have a built-in sphere, sometimes it is harder. Yet it's not impossible. Some of the top agents in our industry moved to a new place and had to basically rebuild their business or start the business, and it's more about how intentional you get and coming up with that plan and then just sticking with it and following it. And Korshana, how about you? Okay, new to Texas as well. Where are you guys from, by the way?
I am from Ohio.
So all three of you guys are all new to the area. Okay, and then Chuck, you're from Arizona and Indiana. Okay, all right, great. Well, so a lot of this stuff I'm going to be talking about today, we know database is a big factor for lead generation, right? And because you guys are all from different states, you still have an opportunity to make money with those people that you know in other states through referral sources. And the great thing is with the KW app that we have. And then if y'all wouldn't mind just typing in, do you already have the app on your phone and do you have it branded to yourself? With that app, you can send it to, all those friends and family members that live back in those other states and just let them know that you have a network of 115,000 agents throughout the country. So no matter where they're at, if they have real estate needs, you can help them and get them in touch with a great agent in their area. And so the great thing about Keller Williams is there's three different ways to make money in real estate. You can make money through your own personal business, and then you can make money through referrals, and then of course you make money through profit share as well. So with the business planning class that Lena did this morning, did y'all kind of come up with any goals as around lead generation? Or like your own personal goal? Okay. And then how about you, Steph?
I'm sorry, Christy, I just had a package delivered, so I missed what you
Oh,
said. I apologize.
oh, that's okay. I was asking, with the business planning class y'all did this morning, did you kind of come up with any personal goals for yourself as far as even GCI or total number of units that you want to close this year?
My total units for this year is 24 that I wanted to
Okay.
close.
Okay. And then Chuck, what is your goal for GCI? Or do you have it also in a number of units? Okay. All right. Well, that's a good goal. So Lena and I, we kind of came up with a math formula, and we discovered that if you will commit to making just 5 contacts a day, meaning speaking with 5 new people a day, then over a course of a year, I'm going to pull up a calendar, or I'm sorry, not a calendar, a calculator real quick so y'all can um, see my math. And if you'll just type in and make sure that you can see this. So if you talk to 5 people a day, and they need to be new contacts, not, and it could be some follow up, but it's not, I spoke with my buyer client today. I'm going to speak with him again in 2 days, and then going out on appointments to taking, to show homes on Saturday. So if you do 5 people a day times 5 days a week, that's 25 people a week, right? And then if you do that for 48 weeks, because Gary Keller says take 4 weeks off a year for vacation, that's 1,200 people a year that we would speak with. Now, if your conversion rate was really at the bottom of where it could be, and you can only convert 1% of those 1% of those to be clients, that means you just closed 12 deals a year just by talking to 5 people a day. Now, if you do what Ignite says and you talk to 10 people a day, that's 50 people a week, right? And if you do that times 48 weeks, that's 2,400 people a year. Now, again, if your conversion rate's only 1%, which is really as low as you can get it, that's 24 people a year. I'm sorry, 24 deals a year. So there's more ways to make more money, right? You can increase that conversion rate. Well, if you go from 1 to 2%, now you've done 48 deals a year. Did y'all run through these numbers earlier in the business planning class? Okay, perfect. So, and your average price point in Dallas is about 300,000. Is that correct? Okay. So let's say that you did 24 deals a year, right? Because you're speaking to 10 people, and at 300,000, hold on, times. That's 7.2 million. So times 3% is $216,000, and then minus splits and all that. Yet, if you did $216,000, that would be a pretty nice income, right? Even if you only did half of that, would that be okay? Do you feel like 10 people a day is realistic? Do you feel like that's something you each could do? Okay, so what makes you say maybe? Okay, all right, good point. So, and I think, Chuck, from what I'm understanding, that sounds like it's kind of your thing too. You're just not really sure where to find these people. And then Stephanie, earlier you were saying, my goal is to meet one person, one new person a day, and just keeping that open mind about no matter where I'm at, I'm just thinking, how can I make a conversation with them?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, one thing I'm going to pull up, and I told Stephanie I'm going to send this to y'all after the webinar. There is this lead gen focus ideas. Can y'all see this on my screen? Okay, perfect. So this used to be in Ignite, and I don't know why they took it out. I haven't seen it in Ignite 2.0. However, it's a whole list of different ideas to potentially meet people. And one, of course, database. Calling everybody friends, family, reaching out to them on Facebook. I've seen great success with that. And so with does everyone have a Facebook account? And if so, roughly how many friends do you have on there? Okay. And then Stephanie, how many friends do you have on Facebook? Okay, perfect. So what I'd like for y'all to do is, as one of your lead generation methods, go ahead and schedule this out on your calendar, and you're going to go onto Facebook, and in your Facebook Messenger, message each one of your friends and just let them know, hey, I'm updating my real estate database. I just want to make sure that I have all your correct contact information. Can I get your best phone number, email, and address if I want to send you a business or a birthday card or a Christmas card? And that's going to open up conversation with them. One, it's telling them, hey, I'm in real estate. And then if you can open up that conversation, it's just having a conversation about, what's happening in life, how your business is going, what's going on in their life. And by engaging in that kind of conversation, it's really going to help open up that door for them to say, oh yeah, so-and-so is looking to move. Even if it's a different state, it's another way for you to be able to say, by the way, I can still help you in that other state. All you have to do is let me know, and I'll connect you with a great real estate agent. I had an agent do this last week during our power hour, and after the second person that she messaged, she actually got a lead. So start there, along with calling people. Yet Facebook Messenger is a great way to get in front of people as well. Has anyone done that so far?
I posted on my Facebook when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
I have not reached out and most of my friends saw that and commented and so on, but I have not reached out to them to confirm their information. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because we should be adding to our database daily, right? And do y'all have your databases set up? Anybody?
I do not. I was actually in the process of checking out how to do that today, getting started with that. So,
okay. Well, this is a great way to get their information. Most people are happy to give it to you, and then it just opens up that conversation. And the great thing is, you just get that you get to rebuild a friendship. If you've lost touch with somebody, and Tony DeSello always says, if you don't have enough business, it's because you don't have enough relationships. So we all know social media has become so big now, and you can basically have a relationship with somebody and barely know them on social media. So it's a really great way to reconnect with people. And yes, I am talking about the eEdge database, or if you want to put it in Top Producer, or if you have a different CRM than any of those databases. So, okay, so let's talk about some other ways about getting leads or potentially lead generating. Sorry, hold on just a second. Let's talk about some other ways of lead generation that would be like outside of your sphere. This was, there's so many things on here that I hadn't thought about. However, like garage sales, going to garage sales on the weekends or whenever they're having them could potentially be a great way to meet people who may be thinking about moving. Because if people are clearing out their house, it could be a good indication that they may be moving. What do y'all think about that one? Yeah, I wouldn't wear your name tag, and you don't go just for the sole purpose of, you don't intend on looking at any of their stuff or buying anything. Yet just go up and, look through their things, and if there was anything you want, then I'm sure they would enjoy you buying it. But then just engage in that conversation. Oh, so tell me, why are you having a garage sale? Are you just clearing out the house? Are y'all thinking about moving? And I would maybe know a little bit about the neighborhood, maybe just some general statistics whenever you go. That way, if they have any questions, you can show that you're knowledgeable on their area. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It could just be basically, I saw that you have like 4 active listings in your neighborhood, and one just sold in the past 30 days. Do you guys like garage sales?
I love garage sales.
Okay, perfect. And then Chuck, it says you basically need to be doing one of these every day. Is that because you like them, or just you think it's a great idea? Okay, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well, I think, garage sales it's a good one. And then it's one thing that you can, I mean, they're mainly on the weekends, I guess. Um, so I would say it's something that you could be doing on the weekends. Now, here's another thing, going and networking with car dealers, because they have people that come into the car dealership all the time, right? If you built that business to business relationship with a car dealer, basically say, hey, I'm going to refer you people to come and buy a car from you. Will you refer me business whenever you hear somebody who's looking to sell a home or buy a home? And then on top of that, you could also partner with a car dealership and maybe do some like first time home buyer seminars or, or like a home selling seminar. And then car dealers usually have maybe not a lot of space, but they have some space that they could host a little seminar for you. And then that brings people into their business as well as get you leads. So, one thing I want y'all to think about is not always just about how to get in front of one person, but how can I make it bigger and get in front of a lot of people at one time? So, and hosting a seminar is one way to do that.
Christy,
Uh huh.
on that note, you were talking about cars, so I thought about what I did yesterday. We go to car shows. We own, well, we only own the Corvette now, but so we take it to shows. And yesterday at the car show, I went up to the guys who were running it and I said, hey, if I bake a bunch of cookies and put them in baggies and put my card on it, will you guys pass them out? I mean, it's free and you can just pass them out to the people who come to the show. And now I'm meeting with them, and they have last car show they had 1,100 people show up.
Oh, wow.
So it was just an idea of how can I um, reach all of these people without having to go up and talk to every single one of them. So I'm not going to bake 1,100 cookies. I'm probably going to buy them.
Yeah, I mean
But yeah,
I think that's a great idea. And again, it gets your information out in front of all these people. So
right.
even if you're not individually talking to them, that's kind of more marketing, which goes hand in hand with lead gen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yet if you were able to get maybe one or two clients off of the 1,100, that would be so worth it.
Yes.
Something else uh, with the car shows. I don't know if this is something that they would have yet. Maybe think about events that are happening in your area. Are there chances for y'all to maybe get a booth and put a booth out at some of these events and hand out, your business cards and maybe just some market information? Is that anything that y'all thought about, or is that something that you could do? I mean, you could even partner together and take time, one of you do it from maybe 12 to 2 and the other one do it from 2 to 4.
I've actually been looking at because my first company I started with an event planning company, um, and I did trade shows and things like that. So I've been looking at maybe like even doing the state fair,
Oh,
and
yeah.
some bigger events where it's going to put me in front of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Um, and one of the things going back to the garage sales is I don't know if it's like this up in Capel yet. Here in the Woodlands, they do big neighborhood garage sales. They won't let you have it individually. They do just huge neighborhood ones. And they were advertising that you could set up a booth at those. So maybe look and see what's happening in the community. If there's a website or a newspaper or something that y'all can look at, and then see if they'll let you come in and put up a booth. One of the things I did, it was for Bold. I did a Bold 100 a couple of weeks ago, and if you're not sure what that is, it's where you speak to 100 people in one day. I called local businesses to find out if I could set up a table in front of their business and hand out market information. And 24-hour fitness here actually let me. So I set up a table outside of 24-hour fitness and just stood there for about 4 hours and handed out market information and just talked to the people as they were coming in. And there was potentially about 3 people who were thinking about selling their house within the next year. Um, Okay, great. I like that you're signing up with the Chamber of Commerce. That's a great idea. And that you can do, with Chamber of Commerce, not only are you talking to other business owners, but there's going to be other realtors there too. So you could always network with them possibly and, talk about referrals with them. So let's go back over here to our list. Furniture sales. People going in and shopping for furniture could potentially be thinking about buying a house. So networking with those, the sales reps there would be really good. So Chuck, whenever you're saying, I'm just not, I need to be talking to people every single day and I'm not really sure who, it doesn't always have to be somebody looking to buy or sell. It could be business to business people where you're thinking about, well, they may know somebody who would be looking to buy or sell. So go network with those too. And that still counts as a contact for you. And same thing with mortgage companies, title companies, inspectors, and appraisers. Those are all people in our business, right? And you know that they work with a lot of agents, yet they're going to have to give their business to someone. So it should be you. And with these guys, it's just establishing that relationship and what makes you different from another agent. Why would they refer their friends or family to you versus another agent? And I'll tell you, I've got a few agents that put me on their campaigns right now. And I know, with the 33 touch campaigns, it's not all agents use them, which we should. Oh, sorry. Hold on just a second. Am I dialed in? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Chuck, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Gotcha. I am not dialed in. Should I dial in that way you can speak? Okay. Hold on just a second. So this is actually my first time using the go-to meeting, so I have to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Now, can you hear me?
I hear you, Chuck.
All right, and I got to turn my speakers down. I don't know what it is. I can't. My mic's not working. It may have just dumped her off because now she called in.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm on the phone though.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Can everyone else hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. And Krishana, can you hear me? I don't know, yours wasn't working earlier, was it? Okay. Okay. What I was saying earlier about the mortgage companies, title companies, inspectors, and appraisers is they're going to have to refer their business to some agents, so it should be you. So go ahead and put them on campaigns because those campaigns do work. I have agents who put me on their campaigns, and there's this one that never fails. When it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday, she always sends me a campaign, and she's out of Florida. So whenever I have a referral for her area, she will definitely get it because she's top of mind awareness. And so same thing with these guys. You know, they work with a lot of agents, but how many agents are actually putting them on a campaign and staying in front of them all the time? So moving on down to moving companies. So, of course, these are going to be good referrals, right, getting out in front of the moving companies because they're going to have people calling them who are going to need to be packing up their house and moving. And I know sometimes that they'll call after they've already got their house sold, yet sometimes they may be calling to get prices. So build a relationship with these moving companies and say, okay, I'm going to be able to refer you lots of business, and I would love for you to refer me business when you hear of somebody who's thinking about moving. Please, ask them, do they have an agent? And then if not, get them with me. I'd be happy to help them. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Social media is such a powerful way to lead generate nowadays. And there is a book called, what's it called? Social. Y'all can still see my screen, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can see it.
Okay. Okay, so this book called Social, it is on kellerinc.com, and it's a free ebook that Ben Kinney wrote. Are y'all familiar with Ben Kinney?
No.
He's one of the top agents in our company. He's out of Washington, yet now he has several market centers, or he has several teams. He's expanded into several different market centers. Yeah, he wrote this book a few years ago, and it's download free. It's a Kindle ebook, about 60 pages, and it's really great because it talks about how to do your lead generation through social media and how to build a big business using social media. So I'd highly suggest that book. I think you'll find it very useful. And then the Chamber of Commerce, which Krishana, you said that you're joining. I think that's a great opportunity to get in front of other people. And then even, maybe look at some, I don't know, the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce is really big, yet if I went up to the Conroe, it's not as big. So look and see maybe where there's not as many realtors, and they'll probably tell you, oh yeah, we have, a good amount of realtors here. If they don't, then that's just more opportunity for you to be able to get in front of more people. So what about, who has children?
I do, and that was one of my things that I got into. I'm coming from I was a manager of financial analysis and finance for a healthcare company. So I'm kind of coming from a different kind of mindset and shifting gears. And the debate was, some people are saying, well, just take all the lists of all the parents in your kids' book and put them in your database. And I'm like, well, is that really okay for you to do that? So I guess maybe I need to have a gear shift in my head that what is and is not okay to use.
Yeah, well, as far as, if their phone numbers are in that book, I would reach out to them first or send them, an email introducing yourself before you just put them on a campaign. Yet, I think it's a great idea to be able to connect with other parents that way. And then, of course, I was thinking about, if you can get in front of the teachers as well, because there's, so many teachers in the school, and just give them like teacher appreciation, whatever they have those days. Or one of the things I was going to do when I was an agent is try to get into the schools, maybe once a month, go take the teacher's breakfast and just be there to introduce myself. So that's an opportunity for you. And get involved with your kids' school. The different events that your child has going on. Whenever, if they play any sports, I would go to the sports and wear your name tag, because it's just another way to get in front of people and have that conversation starter. The directory that you have, it has phone numbers too?
That was just an example of what come up in discussion, because all the schools my daughter has gone to have parent directory, and there's a phone number and email address for every parent associated with every student in the school. And one of the guys is like, well, just take the whole thing and just start putting that in your database. And I'm like, well, I'm having that problem in my head where I was like with you, I don't feel like you could just do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would be cautious of just automatically popping them in your database without coming from contribution. You really need to be able to, to have a real reason to start you have a reason to start marketing to them, but giving them a reason to start building that relationship with them. You know what I mean? How old is your child?
I have a 9-year-old girl, and they'll be 3 in August. I got twin boys.
Oh, okay, awesome. Is your 9-year-old, is she involved in any kind of activities?
She used to be, but since we moved to Texas, she's been kind of slow to get going and stuff.
What does she do?
Well, she used to play soccer and stuff. She did get in her drama club, but that's been about it since she's been out here. She's just not made new friends and gone to friends' houses and all that kind of stuff like she used to. So she's been kind of closed in. Yes.
Gotcha. And then for Shauna, what about your children? Are they involved in anything? Okay, great. So a couple of ideas. And Chuck, once your daughter gets back into sports and stuff, this is definitely something that you could do. So with sports, the kids wear numbers, right? They're on their jerseys, they have numbers. So what if you took and created a little postcard that would have the kids with their jersey number and then their names out the side of it, and maybe that soccer schedule or football or basketball schedule, and then on the other side have your contact information, or down in the corner have like your business card or something, and laminate those and give those to the parents at the game. So that way, now it's coming from contribution. You're giving them something that has, oh yeah, so-and-so's kid is number 33, and that's his name, and then it has the schedule, and it's probably something they're going to hang on to and maybe put on their refrigerator, so that your contact information is always in front of them. We have, there was an agent who did that, and she's been in the business 10, 15 years up here, and she said it's great because, it's helpful, and it's a good way to just remind people, hey, I'm in real estate, and build that connection. Same thing with like the band, choir, sports club boosters. If you can get in and volunteer in your child's school somehow, that's just another way to meet people. Go to the PTO meetings. I know that maybe it's not always the most interesting, yet it's another way to get, connect with people. Any ahas from this so far?
What was that?
Oh, I was asking you any ahas from this so far?
I think the biggest thing that this has done is just remind me that I just need to get out and talk to people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the business we're in.
Yeah, exactly. And just really just always thinking whenever you wake up every single morning, right? I'm going to be around so many people. There's so many opportunities, and how can I make the best of that opportunity? How can I connect with somebody? So, if you're standing in line at a store, how can you connect with the person in front of you versus, everybody standing and staring at their cell phones? Can you comment on the woman's shoes or on her, skirt, or if you're buying stuff for your kids, figure out ways that you can connect with people. And then that opens up conversation. And then if you have your name tag on, then they'll probably say, oh, I see you're in real estate, and they'll ask questions. So have something, most people are going to ask how the market is. Have something that's going to capture their attention versus just saying, oh, the market's great. Say, the market's great. We're seeing, things are selling within 30 days or whatever, something, a little tidbit to pique their interest so they want to know more. And then that way they can ask you more questions and show that you're knowledgeable, because people want to work with people that are knowledgeable and that they can trust and like. And if you found a commonality with them, well, now they already kind of trust or like you, and you're able to build that rapport, to build that trust. And Krishana, you're absolutely right. Everything is opportunity. So, okay, so good point. So Krishana says, being that I'm so new, keeps me from talking to people because I'm not too knowledgeable. What's one thing that you can do daily to help you increase in your knowledge? Yeah, absolutely. Looking up market info. So one of the things that you should be doing daily, every single morning, is studying the market for at least 30 minutes. And that would be getting on your MLS and looking at like the hot sheets and what's just been happening in the market. Also, Inman.com is a great resource for different real estate articles. And I believe you should get that for free through MyKW. It's Inman.com. Let me type it in here. INMAN.com.
Yes, we do get it free.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's the free thing we all get. If you've signed up, you should be getting emails daily.
Yes, and so it may not always be that you're knowledgeable like perfectly on your market just yet, right? Yet if you have some, let's say you can say, oh yeah, I read this great article today that was saying this, this, and this, why you should buy versus rent. That's going to show you're knowledgeable. And then other stuff you can research. And it's okay to say to somebody, you know what, I'm not quite sure. Let me get that information and get it back to you. And then it also opens up, what's your best email or what's the best phone number to contact you on. So, Prashana, I think there is in MyKW, I'll show you at the end of this webinar how to get to this, Inman.com, and set it up. And so let's keep running through this list real quick. So with HUD, VA, bank short sales, if you connected with like a local bank to see if potentially getting their foreclosure list and potentially listing that. Now, that is one thing that you're going to have to do a lot of research and become more knowledgeable on foreclosures and things of that nature. That way you can prove, you need to give me your listings because I can get them sold for you. Yet that's an opportunity. Country clubs, other real estate agents. Here's another way I would connect with people or connect with agents. I would look up on MyKW, and you can put in, what city you're looking for. Like, let's say I said I'm going to look for an agent in Chicago, and then just start calling different market centers and connect with one or two agents and ask them, hey, do you have a referral agent in the Dallas area? And if you want to get more specific, you can say the Pell or the West Dallas area, so that way you're not driving all over the place. And if they say no, say, great, I would love to be your agent in this area, and I'll send you any referrals that I have going to Chicago, and if you'll send referrals to me, that's a great way to build a business. And it may not be somebody who's going to buy or sell just right now, yet if you put those agents in your database and put them on a campaign, you could be building a great pipeline later. And so when I say make 10 contacts a day, that could be one of your 10, or 2 or 3 of your 10 is reaching out to other agents. Realtor seminars, I really like this one because does anyone come from a teaching background or had to do any kind of training or teaching in your past careers?
I was a business coach.
That's right. Okay. So seminars are great because you can, let's say you did a seminar once a month, right? And it might take a little bit of time to catch on. Yet if you started preparing, every single month, you plan one out, and you could do a first-time home buyer seminar and partner with a lender. And really, honestly, the lender is going to do most of the speaking, so you don't even have to do much. It's more about just calling people and inviting them. Do a first-time home buyer seminar, and then you can get leads and they can get leads. Another option that you could do is you could go into a neighborhood that is like a first-time home buyer neighborhood, and then do a first-time home seller seminar, because those people are going to have to sell and they've never sold before. So do something like that and just kind of go through the whole process of, the steps of selling and what they should do with their home. And that's a great way to get leads. And then invite the people in that neighborhood, and then you can say, hey, if you have any friends that are thinking about selling their home, bring them along. What do y'all think about the seminars?
I love that idea.
How about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to say. My biggest problem with lead generation in general is, like, you look through this list, and there's a lot of good things on here, but a lot of this stuff is stuff you may only talk to one person in line somewhere or whatever, but a lot of this stuff you can't do every day. So my problem is, what can I come up with, not knowing people, that I can be doing every day besides just door knocking, or something that could fill in between when I can do all these other things. Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So good point. So these events or garage sales or the different things that you might be doing, let's say you did one a week. Well, you're probably going to talk to maybe 10 people there. It may be more. The bigger you can get the events, the better. So if you can do these events, one or twice a week where you're getting on a large enough scale so you're getting in front of more people, that counts as, part of the contacts you need to be making per week. Otherwise, it's just getting on the phone and calling your sphere, reaching out to people on social media through Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitter. Also, FSBOs and expireds, those are a really great way to get business, a hot lead, basically, because they've essentially raised their hand and said, I want to sell my home. So either it was on the MLS and didn't sell for some reason, or FSBOs, they want to sell, yet they are wanting to list it on their own for whatever reason. Most of the time it's because they believe that they can save money, from NAR statistics, we know that they actually end up losing more money than they would have saved if they hired a realtor. So has anybody reached out to FSBOs or expireds yet?
I have a list of them that I'm actually reaching out to this week.
Okay. So I am going to show y'all a podcast it's not a podcast, it was Gary Keller was interviewing an agent on KW. I'm going to show y'all this real quick so you know where to find it. I was listening to this morning. It's on KW Connect. And I'm going to do get listings for new agents. And this one right here is called Focus on Listings. Listen to that. It's really good. It's only maybe 25 minutes, maybe at the most. And she was basically saying, you know, how she goes about speaking to expireds and FSBOs when she calls them. She'll basically say, you know, hi, I'm Christine Winfrey with Keller Williams. I called that your home was listed for, let's say, 6 months. It didn't sell. So I was calling to ask you some questions about your marketing strategy, which is completely different than what most agents are saying, right? Because most first sell by owners and expireds are getting quite a few calls, yet it's coming from the standpoint of, you know, when are you going to hire the right agent for the job of listing your home? And so she says, you know, I want to ask you some questions about your marketing strategy, and her goal is to get to know, meaning N-O. And so she'll ask, so did you have a like a virtual tour walk through your home as part of your marketing? And they'll be like, well, no. And then she said, okay, well, did you have a blog that featured her home on it, and where you can go in and you can comment and say, you know, tell everybody what you loved about your home, what you loved about the neighborhood, how the schools were. She said a lot of the things that we can't say as realtors. Did you have anything like that? And they said, well, no. And then she said, well, did you have an appraisal that was listed on the MLS to basically show that, you know, your home was priced very well? And she's like, most time they say no. And then she said, by that second or third no, now they're like, well, when can we, you know, let's talk about that. You know, and basically she's able to get listings because she just proved her value and like some of the stuff that she does to market those homes, and she comes at it from that standpoint. So how would y'all feel about calling expireds or FSBOs and asking them that question? Now, you would have to use the things that you plan on doing for your marketing strategy, yet do you think it might be easier to get in the door?
Absolutely.
I think what's been frustrating for me, and I agree, that's stuff we should be doing. For everything like you're saying we should be doing, I've been around long enough that there's other people that argue against it. So it's been kind of my big guess, maybe I'm getting distracted on whether or not it's worth my time, because I've had guys sit there and say, well, calling those are going to waste your time because they're getting called by like 50 people already. But at the same time, if you like what you're saying, if you're presenting something that's going to add to what they didn't have before, why couldn't it work? So it's at the same time that we're getting steered this way in Ignite, you're in the office and you're hearing other people tell you not to do it. So it's kind of like the mixed message, if you know what I mean.
So that's a good point, Chuck. And let me ask, the people who are telling you to stay away from them and not doing them, what's their business like? Are they highly successful?
Some yes, and some not so much. It's just, and some of them I don't have the full picture being new, and that's actually some of the questions that I've had myself, because I don't know, but I wanted to point that out because some of them might be hearing the same comments I'm hearing, so
sure.
I just wanted to bring them up.
Well, and what's that?
I said I try not to spend much time in the office.
Gotcha. And I would be very careful to listen to, you know, a lot of the negativity, and not to say that that's just straight negativity. It could be true. It may not work for them. And the reality is what will work for one may not work for another. And it's all about really, you know, do you have a system that works for you? And when you're new, you don't really know what works until you try it. So what I would say is try it and see if it works for you. And if it's not working quite how you want it, before you give up on it, think about, is there something I need to tweak? Am I studying my scripts and dialogues? Do I have a system and a process that works? Or is it just really that FSBOs don't work? Because from what we can see with some top agents around the country, that's how they, you know, are making a business, is through FSBOs. So it does work for some. It may not work for all. You also have to be able to stick with it long enough to see if it works. And I would say that is one of the biggest things I've seen with new agents, is they don't stick with something long enough to see if it truly works or not. So I would say listen to to this webinar with Gary and I think her name is Rowena. Listen to that and see what kind of ahas you get and what you can take away from it. Yet I feel like if you call a FSBO or if you call an expired and open up with that question, I just had some question about your marketing. Did you do this? Did you do this? And if they're saying no, and it's something you will offer, it's already showing your worth and why they should sit down and talk to you. And same thing with FSBOs. If you just have that conversation of, I'm a real estate agent, I work with buyers, so I just need to know about all the different inventory that's on the market. I'd love to take some time and come preview your home. And it's not like you're trying to get the listing right now. It's just you want to know what's on the market, whether it be on the MLS or whether it be for sale by owner. So that way, if you have a future buyer, you can bring them. Most of the time, people will let you come and at least preview their home. And when you get in there, then that's when you start building that rapport and asking more questions. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I think I like it.
Chris, Shauna, and Chuck, how about you guys?
Yeah, I like it. Just I feel like I've got to get a routine going, and that's kind of what I'm saying. I need to be doing some of this stuff at the same time. I have like the fallback that I know I can always go to when I can't do the others. And I guess the FSBOs and the expired listings kind of fit into that, because you can always be going out there and doing it. But
yeah, absolutely. And then and for Shauna, you're a little unsure about which part? Okay, going in and talking to a FSBO. Okay, so if you had kind of a plan of going in and talking to a FSBO, would that make you more comfortable or really knowing what to say? If you knew what to say, would that make you more comfortable? Okay, so working with scripts and dialogues is definitely going to be key with FSBOs and expireds, right? And knowing how to talk to them. And one great thing is this resource, KW Connect. You can search for FSBOs, expireds, and come up with tons of videos and all types of stuff on here. And then also I'd say, you guys get together and get a role play partner. Because if you know what to say, you're not worried about, okay, well, how are they going to respond to me? And thinking about how they're going to respond. Now you can actually be a good listener and really listen to what they're saying, because you already know what, no matter how they respond, you've got an answer for it. So if I would, if not the three of you guys get together, I would say find somebody in the office or role play with your husband, wife, kids if you have them. If you got a pet, you can role play with a pet. They're not going to speak back to you, of course, yet. Just getting in the habit of practicing your scripts. Are you guys practicing scripts right now? Anybody?
I have not been I've practiced the scripts when I was involved in a couple in Ignite, but I've kind of made my own how I'm going to talk to people, I guess.
Okay. And that's fine, because, with the scripts, we say memorize, internalize, customize. So memorize the script the way it is, internalize it to how you want it to sound like you, and then customize it to make it sound like you. So it's not like we want you to sound like robots. We just want you to have, know what to say and how to say it. So
right.
On the Groe Coaching Portal, under resources, we have a ton of scripts for you guys, and I believe there's even some FSBO scripts on here. There's door knocking, there's expired. The 4 most effective scripts I know that has expired and FSBOs on it. So start studying scripts, practicing them. And I'd say, if you think about it like an actor, right? Hollywood actors, we know how, we don't know firsthand yet. We can imagine how competitive Hollywood is. And to be that competitive and to make it big in Hollywood, you have to be able to deliver your line and be able to, for people to be able to believe it. Now, they don't sound like robots whenever you're watching the movie. If they did, they would not be where they are. Yet, the actors who are making the most money in Hollywood, it's because they can deliver a line. The agents who are making the most money in real estate, it's because they know their scripts and dialogues. And they've got systems and processes in place to be able to deliver the line and be a professional. Any thoughts around that?
I think it's very accurate. I think, the people who wrote those scripts are obviously people who have done it before.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And if it doesn't sound just like you, or if it doesn't feel completely comfortable, like you just can't make it work for you, change it how it does work for you. Don't replace the message of the script. And I know we're almost out of time, so I am going to email this to you, and I just kind of want you to go through it and just look and see, does anything stick out to you that you're like, oh yeah, I could go and talk to these people. I will point out new home builder reps. Go in and preview the new home builders and build relationships with those guys, and maybe go, visit them once every other week or once a week, because when people come in to buy a new home, they might need to sell their home. And if you have an established relationship, well, then that builder rep may recommend you to sell their home. Or if they're really nice, maybe it would be.
I've actually done that because we're actually having a house built right now. A lot of them here won't hand out your card unless you've sold a house. But because even though I bought one myself, my wife and I, because of that, we took a bunch of my cards, and if somebody ever come in mentioning that, they won't hand out just one, but they'll give them like a 3 of them or something like that.
Okay.
So they're not showing favoritism, but yet they're helping ones that have helped them, so to speak. So if you have a phone, they're not overly responsive, but when you do, then they try to kind of pull you into their circle, so to speak.
Gotcha. Well, and that's a good circle to be in too. So just stay in front of them. Go and even if you only visit them every other week, and until you really have that relationship, it's more of just, hey, I just want to know what's on your inventory. What kind of specials are you offering? So that way you're knowledgeable when you do have a client who may be looking for a new home build. And I guarantee you, not all agents are doing that. So if they start seeing you show up every other week or every week just to find out what's happening in their community, they may say, well, we won't hand out your business card until you've sold a home, but they might. Then, if you're that consistent agent always showing up, they may very well start handing out your business card. Well, guys, we're over time. I just wanted to show you one more thing. And for Sean, I'm going to show you the Inman.com. Yet, right over here under resources on our website, I've created under business planning. I've created a spreadsheet for you called Number Tracking Agent Spreadsheet for Agents. It has the economic model on the very first tab, so you can put in how much money you want to make, and then, of course, based on your price point, you can change that here. As long as your commission stays at 3%, it'll show you basically how many sellers you need to have, how many buyers you need to have, and you can change the percentages down here of working with buyers versus sellers. Yet we know during your first year, you usually work with buyers more so than sellers. So play around with that. That way you can see how many appointments you need to go on to hit your goals. And then down here at the bottom tab, you can put on here by day, okay, how many people did I talk to via phone call and Facebook, face-to-face email conversation. It'll total it up by day. It'll also total it up by month. And then at the very back, it'll total it up by type. And then here you just put in, okay, I had an appointment, it came from a phone call, or I had an appointment, came from Facebook. And then it will track your conversion ratios, so that way you can see, okay, where am I being most effective? And then based on where you're being most affected, then that you just focus on that lead generation method more. Any questions on the spreadsheet?
Lana was showing us something this morning that had parts that were similar to this. And am I just crossing stuff up, or
Yeah.
there was a lot more information in the one she was showing on this.
I know what you're. I know
had
what you're
lead
talking about.
generation stuff in it too that she wanted us to do.
Yeah, no, you're talking about the CTE, and actually that's what we want you using is that CTE number tracking. I just forgot. We just put that in place not too long ago, so I forgot about that. So I apologize. Yeah, this will have the economic model on it. So if you want to come back to this, you can. Any questions about what's that?
So the other one, what this one does then, is that what you're saying?
The other one's much better than that spreadsheet I just showed you. So definitely use that.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we're doing what everybody expects us to, and then find out we're double doing it or something when we don't need to.
No, you're right. Do the CTE. Any questions on anything I went over today? Do you feel a little bit more prepared or more ideas with lead generation?
I think that list adds to the ideas and stuff, but I'm still feeling a little blank on what I do in between being able to do those, you know what I mean?
So I come up with maybe, set aside your lead generation time. To talk to 10 people a day is probably going to take you about an hour to an hour and a half. So put that on your calendar, and then, each day maybe name out, okay, today I'm going to work on Facebook. Wednesday, Tuesday I'm going to work on FISBOs. Wednesday I'm going to work on database or calling other agents. Maybe Thursday you go out and talk to builders. So just name each day, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then, of course, open houses, is another great way to do lead generation. You can do those on the weekend. So I would say come up with a plan and stick to that plan. It's really going to help you feel more successful because now you're working your plan.
Yeah, I know I've been trying hard to get open houses, and I haven't been very successful because, one, they're either selling them all too quick, or when they do have one, they're doing it themselves to get the leads. So, and I don't expect them to give up their good open house to one of us newbies, but it's just been a little tough. I've been trying for months now and not had a lot of luck.
Okay. Has anybody else been doing open houses? Not yet. Okay. What about you, Stephanie?
Homes have been selling so quickly, I haven't even really focused on that. I mean, the average home in our market doesn't stay on the market for more than 5 days.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Okay.
I mean,
so
I'll
that makes
100% say they're one of the best things to do. It's just, problem is without your own listing, it's almost like you can't hardly do one.
Yeah. So maybe a seller seminar might actually be a good opportunity to get in front of people, because if it's a seller's market, you got a lot of people thinking about selling. So just, maybe reserve some space and somewhere and see if you can do a seminar to bring people in. Well, we're out of time. I do want to show Prashana real quick on my KW. If the search bar right over here, if you type in Inman Select and hit the go button, a little red arrow. This very first one, your free Inman Select, click on that, and then click the blue bar to activate your Inman Select. And that's a great resource for real estate articles. So, y'all have any more comments or questions for today?
I do not. Thank you for all your help, Christy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the next time we on a webinar, I'd love to hear maybe what you've done or what ideas you've had for lead generation and just how things are working out for you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks.